Ruins? Naturally, I know them well. Li Fan had ventured into the depths of the Tsongyan Sea countless times. The ancient ruins lying across the seabed were nothing unfamiliar to him. Li Fan asked. Are you saying those ruins were left behind by that vanished civilization? Zhao Erbao slowly shook his head. No, those ruins all belong to Tsongyan itself. No. That's not exactly correct either. Zhao Erbao scratched the back of his head before raising both hands to form a circle. The place we now call the Tsongyan Sea was never a sea in the beginning. This entire region was once solid land. Li Fan froze for a brief moment, visibly surprised. Zhao Erbao continued without hesitation. Then one day, everything was suddenly swallowed by the sea. Those ruins resting beneath the seabed all belonged to the civilizations that had once flourished upon that ancient land. Swallowed by the sea. Images from Li Fan's countless journeys beneath the ocean suddenly surfaced in his mind. Zhao Erbao continued his explanation without stopping. As for the ancient artifacts I've spent my life collecting, they came from an entirely different civilization. It appeared all at once, almost as though it had descended from the heavens, just like. Li Fan suddenly interrupted him. Just like the Tsongyan Sea itself? Zhao Erbao excitedly slapped his thigh. Exactly. Think about it. The changing of mountains into rivers has always been part of nature. Who can say the endless Tsongyan Sea won't someday become dry land once again? Such changes usually require years, perhaps even decades, but Zhao Erbao deliberately raised his voice and repeated with emphasis. But when this place changed from land into sea, it all happened within a single instant. Growing increasingly animated, Zhao Erbao walked toward the miniature model of the Tsongyan Sea inside the room. Stretching out his hand, the water within the model gathered together into a floating sphere before settling into his palm. Like this. Holding the sphere of water tightly, he suddenly slammed it downward with tremendous force. The instant it struck the ground, the earth collapsed into a deep hollow. Seawater burst forth, immediately filling the entire depression. Mulberry fields becoming boundless seas. Truly, such a transformation could be completed within the span of a single palm strike. Li Fan instinctively recalled the atlas of the geographical areas surrounding the Tsongyan Sea. So it wasn't that someone had forcefully torn open a section of the continent. That palm strike, that astonishing palm strike. Li Fan's thoughts drifted as he pictured the unimaginable scene from long ago. His mind became overwhelmed, unable to suppress the awe rising within him. Zhao Erbao slowly lowered his hand as well, quietly gazing at the restored model of the Tsongyan Sea, his thoughts seemingly far away. Only after a lengthy silence did Zhao Erbao finally continue. These artifacts I've collected, they must have been swept here by that overwhelming surge of seawater. After reflecting for a moment, Li Fan asked. The residual power lingering upon these artifacts that you mentioned, could it have originated from that palm strike? Zhao Erbao hesitated briefly before answering truthfully. The power contained within that palm strike, the one that created the Tsongyan Sea, was so vast that it almost embodied the Tao itself. As these objects were carried along by that overwhelming force, they inevitably retained a faint trace of Tao resonance. Buried beneath the sea for thousands upon thousands of years, that lingering Tao resonance has still not completely faded away. A single artifact carries only an almost imperceptible trace of resonance. But as more of them are gathered together, those remaining traces gradually harmonize with one another. Becoming increasingly distinct, once enough have been collected, it may even become possible to reconstruct the complete Tao resonance and personally witness the magnificence of that earth-shaking palm strike. Hearing those words, the persistent prompting within Li Fan's spiritual sense finally subsided. So this is where my opportunity truly lies, the sea-overturning palm strike. Seeing Li Fan remain silent for such a long time, Zhao Erbao cautiously continued. The reason I refused to use a storage ring when transporting these artifacts earlier was precisely because the lingering Tao resonance is unbelievably fragile. Once they're placed inside and taken back out, the remaining resonance would most likely be destroyed. That's why I had no choice but to carry every piece myself. Li Fan gave a slight nod, accepting Zhao Erbao's explanation. Take me to see this Tao resonance left behind by the sea-overturning palm strike. Li Fan gave another faint nod, acknowledging the explanation. Now bring me to witness this Tao resonance of the sea overturning palm strike. Inside the storage chamber, a peculiar resonance quietly drifted throughout the entire space, yet it remained so incredibly faint that comprehending any divine abilities from it was nearly impossible. Li Fan asked. Approximately how many more artifacts would be required before this wisp of Tao resonance becomes strong enough for someone to comprehend it? Zhao Erbao looked rather troubled. It's impossible to determine precisely. At the very least, we need several times the number I've already gathered. These artifacts are scattered across the seabed everywhere. Collecting them alone is an extremely difficult task. However, he paused briefly before glancing toward Li Fan. If that girl with the treasure-attuned body were willing to help, everything would certainly become much easier. Li Fan merely smiled faintly, his expression impossible to read. Then you'd best move quickly, time won't wait for you. He slowly reached out and pressed a single finger against Zhao Erbao's forehead. Zhao Erbao suddenly felt an icy sensation at the center of his forehead. It felt as though countless living strands of freezing energy were burrowing into his mind before silently sinking deeper into his body and disappearing without a trace. From this day forward, you will serve under me. Remembering everything he had endured within that horrifying illusion, Zhao Erbao shivered uncontrollably before hurriedly declaring, Senior, I swear my loyalty. From this moment onward I will obey every command you give. I would never dare act against your will. An icy fear seized his heart, yet he then heard Li Fan calmly say, There's no need to worry, it's merely a strand of cold energy. It will naturally disperse after a few days. There's nothing to be afraid of. Zhao Erbao felt as though he wanted to cry, yet no tears would come, save those words for the ghosts. There was no way this wasn't some terrifying restraining technique. Li Fan calmly instructed Zhao Erbao. I have no need for you to do anything else. Simply continue what you've been doing and devote yourself entirely to collecting artifacts from that unknown civilization. I will occasionally come to inspect your progress. Once we successfully reconstruct the Tao resonance, you may contemplate it alongside me. With those words, Li Fan handed him a one-way communication spirit talisman. Zhao Erbao was overjoyed upon hearing this, immediately accepting the talisman before repeatedly swearing his loyalty once again. Li Fan spoke in an indifferent tone. Let's go. It's time we paid a visit to that girl blessed with the treasure-attuned body. After traveling for more than a full day, the pair returned to Yelan Island. By then, night had already fallen. Inside the Tianlao pavilion, the two sisters were quietly chatting together in their room. Bringing Zhao Erbao along with him, Li Fan abruptly appeared before the sisters without warning. A faint strand of killing intent quietly escaped from him, instantly locking both sisters firmly in place. The sisters were startled by the sudden appearance of the two figures. They instinctively tried to scream, only to discover that not a single sound would leave their mouths. Li Fan spoke with complete indifference. You two, are you willing to serve under me? In that instant, the sisters realized exactly who the two people before them were, the legendary immortal masters. The elder sister, Wielding, immediately turned deathly pale, yet she understood they had absolutely no room to refuse. Just as she was preparing to answer, she suddenly felt her younger sister gently nudge her right calf with a subtle kick. Her heart immediately settled, and the words naturally left her lips. We are willing to serve by the immortal master's side.